Hi, good evening, everyone. Today we have kept a little bit out of the box topic for discussion, and the topic you can see is very clear. It's collecting, storing, retrieving, and visualizing clinical information in daily practice, a no-cost digital solution. So why I chose this topic is it might be a little bit interesting because when you work in a hospital, you need to collect many clinical information, and then later on you may need to see what you are actually doing. So you need to analyze the data, and essentially when you do this thing in pen and paper, many times it becomes very difficult. And what possible solution do we have? So what the big hospitals starting from the corporates or the big academic institution, most of them, they usually buy some kind of commercial software. They are available in many names. The purpose essentially remains collecting data to see them whenever you need, to retrieve them whenever you need, analyze them, and then you get to know what you are doing. You can get some, you can do some academic work, you can do some research work. So that's definitely too costly. Sometime back, I think almost 4 or 6 weeks back, Dr. Jagdishan, who is today's speaker, he is one of our beloved senior from AIMS. He posted some very interesting thing in one of our WhatsApp group, and that was a very easy, small, very easy to practice thing based on a very common software, Excel sheet. And that was so fascinating to see that I requested him that why don't you teach this thing to all of us. It's a virtually no cost solution, and you can equally keep all the data related to your radiation practice, what you are doing. And sir actually readily agreed to that idea. So that is when I requested him that please take a class so that this message can spread across the country that we really don't need all those fancy softwares all the time. But yes, we can do equally meticulous data keeping thing and analyzing everything. So we're really very happy to have sir today. Welcome, sir. Welcome to this evening academic session of today in Oncology Classroom. And let me introduce Dr. Jagdishan P. Sir. He is an alumnus of All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi. After doing his MD in radiation oncology, Sir has joined and doing his senior residency. Sir has joined Kidwai Institute of Medical Sciences as assistant professor, and later on he joined JIPMER, which is a very prestigious institute. All of you must be knowing. And Sir is right now additional professor in Department of Radiation Oncology. Personally, I know from my experience that he's very interested in these small, little bit common technologies which can be used in a different way. And Sir always had this keen interest on using technologies for day-to-day work. Welcome, sir, and thank you so much for giving your precious time within your tough schedule. And I know you are posted for a difficult COVID duty. Without losing any further time, may I now request you to take over the session and start your presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Dodul Mondal, and good morning, everyone. I thank the organizer, Dr. Dodul, and his team for having given me this opportunity to present my interesting topic. Okay, let's go to the presentation straight away. Let me start the presentation. All right. Okay. So is this presentation visible, Dr. Dodul?
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Fine, okay.
You can go to the presentation mode also.
Yeah. Yeah, I do not want to go to the presentation more full screen mode. There might be some incompatibilities because I want to skip between programs. So I think this screen is big enough for people to view.
We can see it clearly.
Okay. So the topic is quite odd rather than most of your weekend topics, which is full of academic information. So this, I had a keen interest in recording information digitally over the residency and even beyond that. So what had that had matured into a small software. Software in the sense it's not an entirely new one. It's derived from Microsoft Access. So that helped me in collecting information, and we were able to successfully employ that in our routine departmental practice to collect our OPD information or radiation treatment plan information, as well as, in fact, our ward admissions as well. In fact, we were able to prepare discharge summaries and then get a PDF or printout out of it. And we were able to smoothen out certain procedures. And the most important part of which is we are able to collect some discrete data which can be used for a retrospective analysis later. Okay, without much ado, I'm going to talk about a brief. In fact, this presentation is going to be a brief presentation. It's going to introduce you to the concept of creating your own softwares or your own materials required to collect information and to store the information and to retrieve it whenever you require it and to visualize it in beautiful charts. In fact, up till now, many of you would have used Excel for most of your activities. So Excel is an all-in-one solution that helped us in doing the same data collection as well as even generating charts out of it. So in this presentation, what am I going to focus on, and what will you basically get out of it and may not get out of it is, you at the end of this presentation, you might be able to design a basic electronic medical record for all of your patients so that you can enter each of them one by one in your workplace itself. So this is going to be an offline solution. So you're not going to get any online connectivity. So this is going to be sitting in your desktop or in your clinical workplace where you're going to record all the information. At the end of this small brief presentation, I'll then give a short demo of how to create the OPD database. We are thinking of a scenario where we will be sitting in our new case OPD, and as the patient comes in, we do a lot of workup and then create a radiation plan, create a clinical decision. So that's to allow the patient to go for a radiation treatment or a chemotherapy treatment or any further treatment. So this, very clearly, I'm not going to touch upon data manipulation or data analysis. That you would have had a myriad of presentations looking at the data analysis using SPSS and varied softwares. I'm not going to touch upon any of those because that itself is a huge, humongous task to do that. Okay, going on to the data management in medicine, what exactly are we going to collect? Or do we collect in our routine practice? In our routine practices, we are basically collecting information on the patient. So basically patient specific details, patient as a human, I mean. So what do we collect regarding patient? We collect identity related information and some demographics related to the patients. And then about their disease. So we assess their baseline disease as well as in the follow-up period, we also record their post-treatment disease status aspects. And then we also record each and every treatment part of it as well. And then what are the options currently available in the market or even for individual solutions which can help us in recording this information with some amount of comfort. So currently most of the hospitals would be using a hospital information system. So I believe most hospitals have this hospital information system, at least most private hospitals do have. So where they collect information regarding the patient treatment and also about billing, additional areas which they cover are the billing aspects for a private hospital setup especially. And regarding clinical data management, till now collecting data has been primarily a focus of specific clinical trials, prospective clinical trials. So most of the softwares that were created for this data management were directed towards a specific clinical trials. They were heavily focused towards clinical trials. They were not collecting generalized data. And the common softwares that were available or developed by different software companies. I'm not going to touch upon that. It has become even obsolete. Some has been renewed up. Free ones, let's just briefly touch on those. Open Clinica, Open CDMS, TrialDB, and Fosco. Fosco is one which is quite an open source. It's freely available, and it is used in most clinical trials, especially multi-institutional trials, to compile all the information. REDCap is one such software or website-based resource, which is developed by Vanderbilt University, and even JIPMER has made the residents do most of their thesis work in REDCap. We have also created a server of our own to use this REDCap information. So having briefly discussed about the different market solutions available for recording information, both in in-house setup as well as in clinical trials, let us just dissect the parts of such a software. What are the different aspects of such a software? So basically, the software has three major components. One is a component for data entry. The other would be the component for data storage. And then there will be a summary statement or report preparation using graphical, or at the same tabular data can also be represented in a report format. So data entry, so if you want to compare it with the traditional way of doing things, or what most residents do, or most even consultants do, is we record the information, we collect data entry, and we store it, and we also create charts in one and only MS Excel, Microsoft Excel. That is in fact very good for doing all this in one place. But when we separate the concerns or the aspects of different functioning in a data monitoring setup, we are able to perform better. So how do we perform better? So how do we separate data entry format? So first thing to create such a system is to have a data storage format in the form of an Excel, or there is a database provided by Microsoft that is called Microsoft Access, which can also be used to generate a spreadsheet like what Excel can do. Even some open sources like LibreOffice available in Linux and other systems can also be used. It is also available. And SPSS is one common format used by most residents during thesis. They enter information directly into the SPSS, which they would have designed. It allows for reduction of most errors while at the time of data entry itself. And Google Sheets is one common form now, which is quite available online. So you can enter your data in mobile phones and everywhere. So with this in background, the data storage, once you create a data storage component, then you can create a form to fill up the data. Traditionally, filling things in Excel, we can fill probably a two-worded line, or at the maximum some 5 to 10 words. But if you want to enter more than 10 words, it becomes very difficult to enter into the Excel tabular format. So that is where we need a specific form where we can fill it with large boxes. Such a forms are already available if you have used Google Forms. In fact, Google, once you create you can go to forms.google.com, you can create a Google form, you can put up the questions, and you can even compile it in the form of a Google Sheet, and which you can use it later for analysis. That's one way of doing it, and that's even available online. So there are different forms of doing it. So in this, I'm going to focus mainly on how to use Access for your own in-house software to record things in an offline mode. Fine. You also have other ways of forms collection using EpiCollect. EpiCollect is also a freely available software. The beauty is you have an Android-based software as well. So you can use your mobile phone or a web to collect information. So, and the same thing is provided by RedCap as well. RedCap also, you can go and generate your own forms. Let us just these three major things: Google Forms, RedCap, and EpiCollect. So this is one such Google form where we have I have created. Let me just zoom it to show a bit better. So this is one which we generated for a multidisciplinary tumor clinic, where our general surgeons or surgical gastroenterologists, surgical oncologists, most surgeons come onto that clinic to attend to discuss their cases with us. So when they come to discuss their cases with us, we wanted some way of entry of data. So we didn't want to employ a data entry person to do all the job. So what we did is we created this Google form, and then we shared the link as we share it in the WhatsApp, and then we made them fill up the form at the time of case discussion. And then at the discussion end, I have the Google spreadsheet listed out, and that helps me in finding out how many patients have been evaluated by the residents. This is quite very dynamic. So as soon as the resident enters from in the next room, I'm going to view all these entries here. So we discuss, and then we update the status right away, whatever plan we make for that particular patient. So this way, we are able to create a spreadsheet, and we can even save this aspect. So the other areas where we can collect is specifically is radiation oncology follow-up clinic. So why I specifically mentioned these two areas are because we don't have to fill up large volumes of data. Very probably at the max 2 to 3 information, basic information. Like in the follow-up clinic, we need to know the disease status, and we would be wanting to know the toxicity and other related information. Those can be filled up in quite few lines. And that's Google Forms are quite a very good setup for those. Going on to the next one, RedCap. As I told you, RedCap has some amount of learning curve. So you need to know how to create the same stuff, how to create a form. You can go and log in and create your own free account and then try that one. The link is provided in this one. And coming on to other form of EpiCollect. Here again, it is a free one, and it's available in Android as well as in Apple mode. You can download and use it for data entries. But the robust form where which I found it useful and which I have tested it over almost 5 years now is using Microsoft Access. So what can be done with this record management system, and what areas can be can we have a digital storage systems? If you want to dissect that information, we can go ahead and then see the work areas in a radiation oncology setup. We would usually have a general OPD that runs registration and case evaluation, and then you form a clinical decision making, what form of radiation and any radiosensitizers required or not, all those information which you take in, and the techniques that are going to be planned, all those happens in the general OPD. And in the radiation treatment planning OPD, you're going to do a simulation and then generate a plan out of it. And there is another OPD that runs in the RTPs area, which is a review OPD, which monitors patients on treatment. So we also need to collect information from this. So to have a one-stop software to do all these things is a slightly bigger task. So today we will be focusing mainly on how to create a simple software to collect this particular information. If you sit in the OPD, you want to take out all the information, all information regarding pertaining to patients who get registered on a particular day. So every day you keep adding them. So we'll focus mainly on that. We'll not focus on how to do a ward information collection or daycare information, or even in the follow-up OPD setup. All right. So this is a brief outlay of our workplace. So if you want to focus, this comprises of basically on the left side we have a waiting hall, and there is a long corridor. On the left side we have medonc and radonc OPDs, and then we have a daycare ward that caters to the patients, outdoor patients. If you want to focus more, they will restrict ourselves to radiation oncology workplaces. So we majorly have an OPD area, and there is a general OPD, and a new case and follow-up clinics happen over here. And we have a daycare OPD setup. We'll have our inpatient wards on one particular area, and then we have our RTP zones, so radiation treatment planning areas, which includes the simulation OPD as simulation planning OPD, as well as the review OPD. So let's try to create a module to record this particular, to cover this particular area, OPD areas. So how do we do that? As I told you, our aim is to create, I'm going to demonstrate to you how to create this one using Microsoft Access, so that at the end of this creation, we will be able to create a form as shown here. Let me just maximize this one in case if you want to see it better. It's a simple form. Of course, it doesn't have a lot of design components in it. Designing is always secondary. The most primary part is to get all these fields come up in the software so that you enter each and everything every day. Designing can be learned later, and you can beautify it as in when or however you want it to be done. So once you enter all these patients in this form, individual forms, and then you go back. So we will be doing this subsequently. So we will be converting that form, or rather we will be going into the database and pull out all the information into the Excel. From Microsoft Access, we are going to pull information into the Excel and display it in this tabular format, and then create a chart out of it. It might seem that it's a routine task, which most of you would have already done, but my point of focus is, through this method, the advantages we achieve are two. One is, instead of entering information directly into a small narrow text boxes, we are going to have a form to fill this. And other one is, the charts need not be manually created every time. So once you create a basic outline of the charts you want gender distribution, you want diagnosis distribution, and you want a count of all patients who have come that particular day. Even if you want, you can even segregate patients based on the source, based on the residence area, or we can even create a map out of the patients that are coming from different pockets of the area. So once you create such a chart, multiple groups of charts, every time, let's say you want to generate information for a past 1 month, you don't have to do this maneuver of creating a chart again and again. You just have to refresh the data, or probably filter the data pertaining to that, and you'll immediately have a spontaneous, instantaneous graph showing the data only for you, what you have chosen. So with this, we'll close the PowerPoint session. Let's just start right away onto the demonstration aspect. Fine. Dr. Dodul, has it been clear till now? Is it quite audible? Yeah. Has there been any interruption in between?
No, not at all. It's very much clear.
Thank you. Okay. So let's quickly jump on to the actual practical aspects. Probably the steps, I'll be going upon multiple series of steps. It is very hard to remember any of this. And I believe Dr. Dodul is going to record the session. So in case if you do not follow, you can always view the, you can go back and see the video later, and you can even do it in slow motion so that you can understand each one.
Yes, absolutely. We will share the video.
Yeah, pardon?
We will share the video in the groups.
Yeah, he's going to share the video. So probably if you do not follow it now, if you feel it's very fast, you can just, you can review it later in the video. Fine. So let's go, and then see where is Microsoft Access. So you go to start button and then you search for in a list of programs Microsoft Office. So in my computer, a 2013 version is installed. Of course, 2010, 2019, so many versions are available. So I would prefer to use 2013 and above, because there are quite a good number of features at 2013 and on above. So click on this 2013 version. As you see, there are lots of Microsoft programs added up into the version. And of course, this was provided by Institute. So we had lots of registrations available. And as you can see, we have Microsoft Access, we have Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, Microsoft OneNote for all note takers, PowerPoint, all those things are available already. So we'll go and click this Microsoft Access and see what happens. So
Sir, you need to share that. Your slides are not moving.
okay, let me just share that again. Okay. Okay, so we got into the Microsoft Access. Is it okay now, Dr. Dodo?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Fine, okay. So we have basically what I have done, I think I'm not showing you the entire monitor. So probably you can go to start button, you can always type access and then go to come to this program. So once we open the program, we go and create a blank desktop database. You just click this desktop database. I'm going to label this as test. Let's say we're going to create an OPD database. All right. So we're going to say that we're going to OPD registration. So we just call it registration. All right. So I'm going to create it in the documents folder. I'm going to say yes. So moment you say yes, there is something called as table that's popped up here. It's quite similar to the Excel sheet, except that Excel you have the rows and columns already displayed. Here we don't have the rows and columns displayed automatically. We need to create each and every column. The rows gets added whenever we add a patient. So rows belong to individual patient, columns belong to the fields which you want the data entry person or the resident to fill up. Fine. So now let's create, as I told you, we are going to create for a new case registration OPD. So we're just going to click to add. Let's first thing I'm going to add is name. So I'm going to, these are the types of data that can be filled up. So short text and numbers are the most commonly used one. Let me just click short text is a format. So this is a field that will record only a short text. So I'm going to call this as patient name. So I'm going to use small letters and I don't want to use spaces, because if you want to use this, connect this Microsoft Access with other programs, it's always safer to not have any spaces in between. So I'm going to label it simply. I'm going to add some more fields. I'm going to click another field and then add number. This time I'm going to add age. The third one, I'm going to add a short text format. Here I'm going to add gender. Fine. And then I'll add probably a file number. Okay. So file number. So file number can be RT file number or an institute file number. There can be many numbers. So that's basically ID for a file ID for the particular patient. And then we're going to add a small diagnosis. We're going to add another short text. We're going to add stage of the disease. And we are going to add whatever is our treatment plan. Okay. So this I'll label it as OPD plan because we'll have multiple plans made. Lastly, I'll add a remarks column. Since remarks, we would be writing too many remarks, so short text may not suffice it. Probably I think I can right click on this and then delete this field and then go and click back and create one more again. This time I want a large box to fill up lots of paragraphs of information. So I'll select a long text here. Sometimes your access version can show access memo option. Instead of long text, it will be written as memo. You can even select memo for this. I'm going to click long text here. This long text, I'm going to call it as remarks because I'm going to fill lots of information. In fact, even the plan information would be much more, instead of a short text, I would want to write more information about the surgical or the radiation procedures. So what, if I want to change the type of data I'm going to enter into this field, I've just already clicked this field here. In the tabs, you can select fields. In this field, the data type, in the formatting area, data type, you can click this and then convert it into a long text box here. So some places I would want some drop downs, like in gender, we don't have options more than 3, male, female, and a third gender. So I would rather want this to have a drop down menu rather than filling it up upfront. So I can convert this one. I'm going to click this and then go and convert it into another field. So it doesn't show up an option here. So let me just create newer one. So I click a new one and then I click a lookup values. I'm going to look up for multiple values whenever I come to this field. So in this lookup value, I'm going to enter the values which I want. Of course, if you have another table of data, you can also pull up information from there. I'm not going to go into that. Let me select, I will type in the values that I want. So I select next. The first value, I'm going to write it as male. Second value, I'm going to write it as female. And third value, I'm going to write it as third, or sometimes you can even call it as other gender. I click next. I don't want any other information other than male, female, and third to be entered into this particular box. So I'll call it as limit to the text. So I'm going to select limit to the text and finish it off. Now that I've got the same gender field again and again, so I'll delete this older gender field which I created, and then I'll click this and then try to rename the field as gender. All right. So now we have created a basic one. Let me just fill the information here in this particular row itself to show you how things work. This ID I have not created. It's an auto-generated field. This is basically going to give us a serial number of the number of cases which you enter. So let's just say we are going to write Kumar, the patient name, and let's say he's age 52. And let's say, let's give him a file number. We'll call it as 155/2020. Fine. The file number, I remember, if you remember, it is of the data type of short text. It's not a number because we're going to use slashes or something in between. If you have a pure number, you can always go and change it into a number version. So let's say this patient has got CA buccal mucosa. All right. So now you can understand the difficulties in writing information onto the tabular format. So let's say this patient is T2N0M0. All right. And then the plan which we made is we wanted patient to review in, or let's say we wanted a radical brachytherapy to be planned for this patient. All right. We wanted to plan radical brachytherapy. All right. Sorry for that. Okay, in the remarks section, we are going to give him an appointment. Let's just say that an RTP appointment. So we're going to fix an RTP appointment for him. So I have pushed in the gender here. So I'm just going to click it, drag it back on nearer to the age field. So now, as I told you, we have already filled in some drop-down information. Click this drop-down menu. If you can see, we have already typed all this information. In addition, if you want to add some more, there is always another option over here. You can click that button to add more options. So let's say you want to add others one or something like that. You want to add. So now that will be automatically added into this. All right. So now we got the basic table made, and we also tried to fill in one basic information. Although it was slightly difficult, but we are able to still manage it. So as I told you in the beginning, we can also create forms using Microsoft Access. So I'm going to close this up. So let's close this table up. If you can see, I'm not closing the whole program. I'm just going to the edge of this particular window and closing it. So I'm going to save this table. Let's call this table as OPD table. And then we save this again. Fine. So on the left side, you see there is an OPD table created. So now I'm going to create a form out of it. So just click this one, go to create button, create tab on the ribbon. This is called ribbon in Microsoft language. So create option and then to the section called forms. So this is a group of forms here. So this is a ready-made form. I don't want to design a form. If you want to design a form, you can do that once you learn about this. But then I want a default form to be created out of it. Let me just click the form. So the program has already created a form for me. So this form cannot be, you cannot go ahead and immediately enter information. This particular, the default format which has just come up now is in the form of a layout view. Basically, layout is where you adjust the sizes of shapes or the dimensions of each of the boxes you want. So we want our OPD plan boxes to be a bit more. So we want it to be a bit more, and our remarks boxes also to be a bit more. We don't want the gender to sit here. So I click both the title and as well as this box, and then click and then drag it up. I bring it down here to the age boxes. Fine. Okay. When everything is set, I'm going to close this. So so it's asking me to save. I'm again going to save. So we will call it as OPD form for easier understanding. Now this is OPD form. I've clicked and saved the form now. So again, if you go and double click on the form on the left side, you're going to get the form. So this one shows the previously entered information. So if you want to go and add up new information, go down to the lowermost end of the program. You can see some left and right arrows. You can go to the right arrow, and that is one way of going to the last one. Or you can see something with a star here. So that creates a new blank record. So I'm going to click that new blank record. So I'm going to add another patient here. So this time I'm going to call this patient as Kumari. This Kumari is 60-year-old and she is a, so we get the drop down menu. So we click the drop down, select female patient. We give a file number of 156/2020. This patient is diagnosed as CA cervix. All right. And this patient is staged as 3B. And the plan which we made is radical chemo radiation. Of course, so this is a long box, so we can add all information regarding chemotherapy, regarding radiation, all the stuff you can add as much as you want. Since the type of data which we selected here is a long text data. Similarly, remarks, we're going to fix again appointment, fix an RTT appointment. This is just for our own record. Okay, so you're going to fix an RTP appointment. Fine, it's automatically saved. You don't have to click the button save. The moment you click inside the field or you close this one, everything gets automatically saved. Fine. So if you want to be safer, you can go and click the save button to be much more safer. Now that we created 2 patients, let's see how we can compile this information. Just for discussion sake, I'll add one more patient. So to make it things better, this time we will call, let's say, Govindamal. That's one common name. Okay. This Govindamal is 45-year-old. She is a female. And we have given her a file number of, and let's call that diagnosis as CA breast. Okay, so we'll say CA left breast. In fact, this diagnosis column can also be made into a drop-down one. It's fine. But if you convert this into a drop-down, you can go to the table and then do the change by converting this one. But the issue is if you convert it here, that doesn't get reflected in the form over here. So whatever changes you want to do, you first create the table with all the fields you want and then save it and then come back and create the form. So don't go halfway through and then do that. That will be leading to a lot of trouble. So let's say this patient is T4AN1M0. And the plan is we are sending this patient for a radical mastectomy, modified radical mastectomy. So this patient, the remarks is to be referred to surgery. That's what we mean here. All right. So now that we have some basic idea, let me just remove the word left here for just beauty's sake. You can always add a laterality box to say whether it is affecting on the left side or right side. Okay, I'm going to close this form. Again, open the table box here. Go and click the OPD table. As you can see, whatever I had entered in the form is come up in this table. So it's quite nice and fine. Everything seems okay. Now I'm going to open an Excel file. So I'll open an Excel and then try to share that one with the new share option. Yeah, I've clicked the Excel button here and then it's going. I'm going to add a new share now. Okay. So all of you can see the Excel sheet now, I suppose. So this is just a brand new Excel sheet. So what do? I'm going to pull the information from that Access file onto this one. Remember, we had labeled that Access file already as an OPD registration file. So how am I going to pull that information here? So for that, I'm going to, let's say I'm going to insert something. So click insert and then you can go to something over here, chart boxes. In this chart boxes, we have special options of pivot table, pivot charting, all those options. So what I'll do is I do not want to create a chart as of now. I'll pull all the information from there. So I'm going to create a pivot table. I'm clicking a pivot table here. Here it asks me whether you want to select any fields within this format. I don't want anything within this. I'm going to have an external data source. So it asks me to choose a connection. You can click to choose a connection. You can click browse here. So now as you click browse, you can go to the documents folder. There we have that OPD registration box. I don't think those text boxes are seen here. But do you see the pop-up here, Dr. Dodal?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this create pivot table pop-up. So through this, I have selected the name of the file. I have gone into that. I have selected the name and I'm going to open it further. So this is one way of opening it. And the other way of opening it is go to the tab box and let's say on the left side, get external data. So we can click the access button here. Again, go to the documents folder where we say OPD registration, click open. So these are different ways of opening it and saving it over here. So let me just close this and then, okay. Okay, so for some reason, I think I'm not getting this connection established. Let me just close this and reopen again to see how it happens.
I think you need to share your screen.
Oh yeah, I'll do that. I'm doing the same thing again, clicking data button, going to the option and clicking OPD registration. Yep. Okay, so there is some problems here. So I'll show you the file which I've just made. Probably I'll add up the problems in the, share it in the video that I added later. So probably I'll give you the information related to that. Let me just go to the one which I have just did before the presentation. Okay. So this is one which I had created before the presentation. This is again the same one. It gives you the OPD. I'm going to share it now. Okay, so this is another file which I've created already. So similarly with all the same information, but you can see some newer fields are added up. And to create a beautiful form, as I showed you, that comes out, you can always create it a newer way. Let me show you the form creation again. Create a default form. So this is a format which we discussed earlier. So if you want this form to come out of the window and then show it as a separate window, you can always go to a design tab over here. So fine, go to the lower down, right Xteam, last button, design tab, and then go ahead and then select in this drop down boxes. Go and select form and go to the other box here and then click add pop-up yes. And go to the format, go to auto center, click yes. Now I'm going to save it and then give a, this is form OPD, labeling it as form OPD. I'm closing this one. Let me close the table also. The form OPD, I double click on that. Now you got a box that is popping out of. So it's much better to enter, it's much faster. So similarly, what I have done before is I have created one Excel sheet which was connected to this one. All right, let me open the Excel sheet now. Okay. So we pull the table over here from there using the data and get access from above. Let me try in this one again. From access, go to the folder where I had already created. I had done one test program before this presentation. So I'm selecting the test OPD which I just created and I'm clicking add. So there are some requirements to be added. I'll share the documents that is required. It requires some Microsoft C++ redistributable program. I'll add it up. Once you add that one, it will probably come up in this one. So what we will get probably at the end of it is we will get a table like this. That's a pivot table. In fact, most of you would have already, some of you would have already used a pivot table. The pivot table comes up here. This brings up all the information from that Microsoft Access. And this pivot table, you can create a chart. Let me delete it and create this chart again. So I'm going to click inside somewhere. I'm going to insert a chart out of it. So this time I'm going to select a pivot chart. So I will click pivot chart here. So it selects the table already for me because I already clicked it inside the table. So we got this selected already and we're going to say, okay. So you want to paste this one in a new worksheet. But let's say I'm going to choose the same existing worksheet. I want it to be pasted somewhere in this one. So I say, okay. So now I got a pivot table and then I have got a chart here. So how to use this one? Basically, let's say we want to create a gender distribution information or distribution of diagnosis. So for that, we have the diagnosis column here. So we have some 4 boxes on the right side. The lowermost left box, which is called as axis, is nothing but it's more similar to an x-axis. The right side values, the right lower box values is similar to a y-axis. So that's the general logic. But x and y can always change depending on the chart. We're not going to go into that. So let me pull diagnosis into the x-axis zone. And what do we want in the y-axis? We want the number of patients. So basically, number of patients can be identified by file numbers. So we want to count each and individual file numbers. I'm clicking the file number name and then pulling it down onto this particular value box. So now you got a pivot table created. So this, let me just delete certain unwanted information. And this, let me call it as diagnosis. All right. So now that I have got a diagnosis box, let me just briefly change the picture to another color. Yeah, go to the design and change the color. Now you have got distribution of the diagnosis. If you want the numbers to be listed up here, you can go and click here, add data labels. So the numbers get displayed over here. So this is a brief, a simple chart shows the distribution of diagnosis for a particular, for all the database listed. So now most of the time what you would want is what are the types of diagnosis of patients registered in a particular week. So you would want duration. So for that, there is a filter option in this box. So you're going to select or narrow down the number of patients displayed in this chart using this filter box. So let's say since we want the dates to be narrowed, we'll pull the date of registration. In the demonstration which I showed you, we didn't add the date of registration, but in the previous file which I created before the presentation, I had created one date of registration. All right. So we selected the date of registration over here, and then it has already come up here. So now we can go and click inside and select the dates we want and then say okay. So now the patients that are registered on that particular day gets showed up here. So of course, if you want multiple dates, you can also select multiple dates. And then it shows the patients registered on all the multiple days. Sometimes you would want to select the month. So if you want to select the month, then the option is to convert the dates into months. So how do we do that? Let me briefly explain before I close the presentation. This is one auto column which I already created. Let's remove that. Okay. So in the same box, you're going to add a new column, insert new column. So this is the date of registration. Here you want the month to be generated. Let's rename this as MTH month. You want the month to come out of this. So as you do in many Excel formula, you put an is equal to sign and then you put MONTH. It automatically comes up. I'm going to select that one. This is going to be month of this particular day. So I've already selected that. I say okay. So the default format is recognized as date. That's why it is showing up as a date. But this is actually a number format. So change it into a number format and remove the decimals by clicking all this stuff. So now we've got this 7th month. Fine. So all the patients were registered on the 7th month or a particular day. That's what it shows basically. Similarly, we can extract the year out of this particular date. So go to this, rename it as year. Let's say year is equal to, put it on top and then say year, select the date. All right. So you got the dates, years of picked out here. So now, since those have been added now, it doesn't get reflected here. So I'm going to delete this box. I'm going to delete this box, which I've already made. So let's delete all these boxes. So we recreate the chart again. So go insert, pivot chart, pivot chart. So if you want the table also to be displayed, you can go ahead and click pivot chart and pivot table, the table of data which you are extracting from there. So as we just discussed, oh, sorry, I forgot to click it inside the table. So I have clicked it inside the table, pivot chart and table. It's already auto selected. I'm going to say yes. Now I'm going to pull the diagnosis in the x-axis, and the file number counts, basically counts. Sometimes if you do not put, if you pull in some number values, it will create a sum of the values. So it's a bit difficult to, or let me just remove this one. Let's call an ID. Let's pull an ID. ID is an auto-generated number, right? I'm pulling that auto-generated number, but it's not, instead of counting the numbers, it is adding the sum of the values since it's a number value. So if you want to change this into count of values, you can go click value field settings and then click count, say okay, fine. But instead of this, if you already have a field number which is whose data type is a text, it will use the default one is usually count of file numbers. Fine. Again, I'm going to go to design, change the format to look a bit darker, selected, and then go and click this plus button, add data labels to have the numbers on top of it. Fine. So now I have done everything. Diagnosis, everything has come up now. So now the next part is filter, adding filter. As we discussed, we have already created a month and a year. So pull this year down, pull that month down here. Fine. So now that year and month has already appeared in this box, let me make it big. Click here, you can select whichever year. Since there is only 1 year, we do not have any further information. Ideally, the one which you have selected, let us just go back to the form. Yeah. The table which you have selected, you're not supposed to edit any information. So, but just for the sake of argument, I'm going to edit the dates into May. And I'm going to edit one more days into in June and one patient in May. All right, I've done that. And going back to this, so I'm going to refresh this. You can go down and then select show more commands, and then use all commands, and then go to refresh, search for refresh button. So you'll have a refresh button here. You can click that refresh button into the command access bar. So then you will have the refresh button on top of it. So click refresh, the entire data gets refreshed. So this error is basically because we are connecting to an older one. That's what this pop-up basically shows. So, but if you got multiple dates refreshed, then it is again going to come up in this one. All right. So this is one way of generating the graph. So subsequently, as and when you add a patient in the database, let me stop this and then add another share. So as and when you add patients in this one, you can store it in this access and then go to the Excel sheet, just refresh the data over there, and then the graphs get changed spontaneously. So that's how it happens. So there seems to be 1 or 2 errors in this computer because I have not installed the C++ redistributable, but that doesn't matter. It will usually show a pop-up what is not available in your computer, and then you can go ahead and install all those options. So I'll probably at the end of this program, I'll give you the actual program which I've created, so you can have a look at that. And in case if you have problems, you can probably mail me in my ID. All right. So I think we'll go back to the presentation. The last slide, I'll stress a bit more. Okay. So the idea is we had created a form like this, and we had pulled in the information into this Excel using the data bar option. And after pulling that information from the same table which we have pulled in from Access into the Excel, we had created a chart out of it using pivot table and pivot charting. And this information, once it is stored, you can add any number of patients. Let's say after 1 week, you have added 100 patients into this. If you go and click refresh in the...
Sir, your screen is stuck.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it okay?
Your screen is not visible, sir.
Yeah.
Now it is okay. Yes.
Sorry, earlier I used to find share the whole monitor, but that doesn't appear here. I can only share the windows here apparently. That's why I'm having multiple troubles. Fine. Okay. The point is, what we have seen is we have created a form like this, and then we were able to add information into that, and we had an Excel sheet that was pulling information from that access form. We had information displayed in the table, and then that is getting extracted into in the form of a chart. So these are the basics of how to create. I'm sorry I was not able to recreate the entire scenario. There were some issues, but the software or the program I'll share will not have such issues probably. You can have test yourself, and you can also create similar modules for your treatment planning zones. If you want to see one such software, I'll probably end the presentation with that software. I'll open up that program. I'm going to share one last program which I have created. Okay, so I hope you see this one. So this is a
Yes,
form.
yes, yes.
Yeah, is it visible, Dr. Dodal?
Yeah, it's visible.
Fine, okay. So this is one which I have shared with some of my friends for testing and for their comments. So this is basically a similar form that was created just now we discussed how to create an OPD form. So using the same methods, I have created this form basically for our radiation treatment plans. So patients who have had radiation treatment plans, who had completed their treatment plans, and then so if you want to have a record of all the radiation treatment which you offer to different patients, this is the form which we do. So you can enter basic information here. You can enter their history at the time of treatment, again the examination, and then you have an investigation box. See, all these boxes are almost same. So bigger boxes are of data type of long text, shorter boxes are of the data type of short text or numbers. You can even choose to have dates as one of the options. The same way I have created everything, and I have of course added some colors and all the stuff. So it's appealing. It is a bit more appealing than the bland ones which you showed in the OPD example. Again, details on the treatment examples. So external beam radiation treatment details, brachytherapy details, and these two details, final advices, and that's required. And the resident and the consultant who are in charge of it. So we in fact added one more point of adding institution here. So the beauty of this form is not only in recording and saving it in the form of an Excel. If you want to take a printout out of it, we can even generate a report. Report generation is in the same stream, but that will consume more time. That's why I didn't go on to that. So let me just tell you how it works basically. I'm going to click this button and then show you how we generate a graph. We generate a PDF out of it. So this is the PDF format which is generated. So this is basically the information, the same information as you have just seen in the form. So it shows you under different boxes. Of course, the positioning of different elements is different here. If you just go back to this one, the positioning of boxes were different in this one. And in the report format, the positioning, you don't see the box borders, you don't see other information. So all this can be edited in a report format. At the end, if you go ahead and then click save, or you can, so you'll get a PDF generated out of it. So that's how things work in this one. All right, I'm going to say close, stop all macros. Some things have not worked in this computer because our IT person has not activated my Microsoft Access in the department computer. So this is an office computer which I'm discussing from. That's why I could not demonstrate to you all the features that I had tried to show you. So pulling information into the Excel is a simple task. Probably you can try it on your own. Since we had problems here, I hope you should not have any trouble if you're trying to pull information into Excel from an Access file. All right, I think with this, I can stop my presentation. So if there are any doubts, probably I think I've not shared my email ID. Probably I think I can do that. I can display it on this PowerPoint at the end.
Sir, what you can do, if you agree, then you can share the PowerPoint with us, adding your email ID.
Yeah.
And I can
So-
share that across the group.